Coach, you took the team to Spain back in early to mid August for what I heard was an incredible time. And Amy and I were disappointed we weren't able to join you just as we were coming up on our first fall semester. We needed to be back here on campus. But tell us a little bit about what you did there and how it helped the team.
Well, first of all, when you're 6 months into your presidency, your day job occupies quite a bit of time, and you and I get a chance to talk often, and sometimes it's late night, sometimes it's early morning. As the other day when the dog was out being walked, I stopped by. But, it was great. I mean, we went over there for, I think, 11 days and saw three great cities, Valencia, Madrid, and Barcelona. And the last game we played three games. It was partially for the games, but it was partially for camaraderie, education, seeing some sights. And the last night in Barcelona, we played a very good Serbian team, and it was at the same arena that the Dream Team played in for the Olympics in '92. And so there was a picture of Magic, a mosaic kind of on the wall, and I told my son to stand. I took it, sent it to him, and he started tweeting out all these things about us. So the family is a lot bigger than just here on campus. And my favorite part of traveling, as you're going to find, because of our hotel restaurant management being one or two in the country every year, you can go in a hotel anywhere. And I usually go to the front desk. I say, you got a Michigan State person, working here? Inevitably, somebody's in that building. And it's the coolest thing. I usually get an upgrade in rooms.
We get a go green, go white just about
yeah.
anywhere we travel.
Yeah, we do.
So speaking of traveling, going to take the team up to the UP here in maybe about a month.
13th of October, 3 weeks, yep.
Yeah, and so talk a little bit about that, going back to your alma mater up at Northern Michigan and kind of how that came about and what you're hoping for.
Well, you got indoctrinated a little bit. It wasn't that long ago. You went up to Mackinac Island and took your wife up there and really saw God's area code, and that's what we call it up there. But I'm going a little kind of northwest of there, Marquette and Northern Michigan, where my buddy Mariucci and I kind of hung out. And I've always wanted to go back, and I go back every year because Steve's got a Ronald McDonald called the Beacon House up there with the hospital, and so I go up there to help him. But I always want to go back and maybe give back a little bit to them, and also just kind of bring my team. And you're not going to believe this, Kevin, but in '76 or '7, my sophomore year, we played Michigan State the fourth game of the year. It was my first collegiate start. And Gus Ganakis knew my head coach. It was a regular season game. It was not in fact, now that I think about it, I should have learned from Gus, because sometimes my schedule is awfully difficult. I would have rather played Northern Michigan in a regular game. So God bless Gus. But I mean, it was incredible. Terry Furlow, there were some big names on that team. And so can you imagine that was back then and almost over 40 years ago. And so I'm going to take my team up there. I'm going to let them know where I lived. I'm going to take them around. We're trying to get into the prison where we used to play, and just kind of a little bit of education. We're going to play in the world's largest wood dome. Northern has that for football. We're going to try to configure it best we can. Our people here have done a great job. We've sent people up there. It's been really fun, and I can't believe how many people from down here are trying to get tickets to go up there. And I think it's to see the leaves. They think in October they'll see the leaves. By the time they get up there in October, they're going to see the snow probably.
They're going to see the Spartans.
They're going to see the Spartans. That's right. And people ask me, what are you really looking for in a president when you go through a search? I'd never gone through one, and there were a lot of people on the committee, and I said, somebody who has people skills and is really important to me. When I hire people, I want people. You can teach somebody a lot of things, but people skills, if you have a lot of knowledge and you can't communicate, I don't care if you're the smartest guy, I don't care if you're the best doctor, I don't care if you're the best professor. If you can't communicate well, what does it do? Immediately, that was the first thing that stuck out, and then when you look into his background, who in the hell besides a guy from the UP could be at Michigan State, how can you start out as a trainer with the Pittsburgh Steelers and become president? That should be illegal. I don't know. But that is so cool, and it just kind of gives you your wide range. How is all those things in sports? I know you work with the NFL with concussions, and yet I also know you're a brilliant researcher. How do you put all those things together?
Yeah, well, first of all, Coach, thanks for the confidence that you, as one of those search committee members, had in me. Certainly we've developed a great relationship over these past 8 or 9 months since we first met, and it is a special place, and nobody knows that more than you. But Amy and I wanted to be at a place that was proudly public, a place that we knew we could make a difference. We felt right from the outset that this had sort of this inclusive culture. There was this commitment to student success, to solving the grand challenges of our time, to being in a big, large Big Ten campus that also can have a feel of a small Ivy League college at times, and we have that with our residential colleges here. But and it's just in a wonderful college town that it just sort of felt right. But you joked about my background in sports medicine and my concussion research, and if you talk to any university president, they will most will tell you that you have to have some concussion prevention strategies.
I hear you.
As we certainly are sort of in the line of fire at times, and but I love it. I'm someone that runs toward a challenge that I turn quickly into an opportunity, and that's what we're going to do here at Michigan State. We have world-class faculty here, so one of the challenges is just keeping them here. And so I talk often about we have a responsibility to attract talent and to retain that talent here. If we do that, we're going to become a talent activator when we put our students out there into the world to become future leaders and future researchers. And so that's what we're focused on right now, is making sure that we've got the resource. I'm spending a lot of time over in Lansing advocating for our world-class faculty and researchers so that we can be that place that's a talent activator, and it takes resource. I'm out on the road talking to our alumni base. We're about to launch our capital campaign in the spring, and there's a lot of great things here. And as Coach, we talked about during the search process, I love to fundraise. And fundraising is about storytelling. There are great stories to be told here at Michigan State. This is a humble place, though, I've learned. And we got to find ways to toot our horn and amplify the excellence. So as I said earlier, while that's challenging at times, these are opportunities at the back end.
So you mean to tell me that even the professors have a transfer portal a little bit that we got to deal with?
Coach, let's talk about another outstanding coach and a good friend of yours, and that's Coach Mark D'Antonio. And we're going to honor him here coming up soon, and he'll be going into the College Football Hall of Fame. Maybe talk a little bit about that relationship, friendship, and what you've learned from Coach.
Well, back in the day, and right when I got the the assistant job, I was a GA for a couple of years. I've been a GA all over the world, but in '87, I got to be moved up full time, and George was still here. And then when Nick Saban came, he was here as an assistant. When he came as the head coach, I was the head coach. He hired Mark D'Antonio. And so I got to be good friends with Mark. I just love football, and I spent a lot of time with those guys. And I realized that what we all realize, whether people think so or not, when football is good at an institution, athletically anyway, academics got a whole nother issue, but we're better off, because of the power. And people always say, why do you like football so much? It'd be when they're good, I'm good. When they're better, I'm better. But Mark was, you'll like him. He's you've met him a few times. He's come with me on some Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournaments. I still try to keep him involved. I know he went out with our football team last week. He's just an unbelievable person, and different personality now. He's more quiet and everything, but the thrill of my life was in 2015. They went to a Final Four in football and played Alabama, and him and I and Nick stood on the 50-yard line and talked before the game. And later that year, we went to a Final Four, and that's, we have to get back to those days, because that excites, I think, not only the campus, but the alums, and definitely me and the football coach. So Jonathan and I will be working for that same goal.
I had a chance to meet Coach D'Antonio back about 15 years ago at the American Football Coaches Association meeting, and I reminded him of this recently. I said, Coach, I was your opening act. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, remember, I said, we were at the Anatole Hotel in Dallas, Texas.
I've been there.
They invite me to give a talk to about 5,000 football coaches from high school on up to the pros in this huge ballroom on sport-related concussion. And only to follow me is Mark D'Antonio to give the keynote talk. And we were back in the green room, and I'm sitting there talking to Coach D'Antonio. I'm like, who in the world wants to hear, especially 5,000 football coaches, a concussion researcher? So I said, I cut mine short. I gave you some of my time back. I was your opening act. And he said, I actually remember that. But at any rate, what a great guy. I had a chance to sit with him and watch some of that Maryland game last week up in the suite, and 2 weeks ago, I guess. And just a class act. I think you described him to it.
That proves you were destined to be here.
Absolutely.
That just had to be in the cards.
We're reunited.
And we're going to honor him in the hall, in the circle of, put his name up there, and then he goes into the College Football Hall of Fame, I think in December. And I was with him the day he found out, and it was so cool. And like I said, not a more deserving guy, not a better Spartan.
88.9 The Impact.